vacation. I'll talk to you a little bit about that. But let me first invite Bobby here, and we will get this monster slate off and running. And lots to catch up on. I'm only going to be able to do this for like a half an hour, but just so much to do. We will get to it. Hopefully most of the news is in before I have to go, but I really doubt that's going to be the case. You know what? That's what makes this all fun. So let me first, I'll text him as well. And then we will be off and running. Okay, 1 second. All right, 1 second. All right. Hey, thanks, Jay Smooth. What's going on, Eric? Still waiting on the Bobby, actually. But getting some conflicting reports on whether Middleton is expected to play or not. But, you know, it doesn't matter because it's going to be, thank you, but it's going to be decided before at least that game starts. But probably not before the maybe not before the 7 o'clock game, which becomes very we'll just have to see. Oh, and there's Bobby chiming on in. Oh, there you go. That's better.
What's up, guys?
A better background for sure.
Yeah, it's a familiar background for those. I've just just got home, so into this, and
I don't know that background. I don't know that background. What is that?
It's a friend who painted this of Audrey Hepburn, but
oh, excellent.
Yeah. So we got quite a weird slate here because I think we need to know a lot of things. What's going to happen with Philly? What's going to happen with Middleton?
Mm-hmm.
And those are probably the biggest ones that we know of, but there's plenty of other stuff that could happen, and it's nerve-wracking. It looks like AD is going to play.
Yep.
So, you know, what do you have here, Sheets, as some of your priority stuff?
Well, I'm literally just waiting because the Middleton thing is like a really big deal. But the thing is that there's a lot of things that have to happen at 7 o'clock that you have to decide on.
Right.
So that's why I'll be here. I mean, I can do this for probably half an hour. Then I gotta focus because you know what? I'm doing this. I think I'm gonna do that 1500 on FanDuel.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. So I gotta figure this out.
And if you're stuck with Middleton there and you're playing Holiday also, like I am in my current 1500, you can have an easy switch if you want to go over to Anthony Edwards at 7,200, just as a 1v1 obvious play. But the truth is, you're probably going to want some Grayson Allen types and things like that.
Right. Well, let me run a guy by you who just continues to show up regardless of how much not how much I try to get rid of him. He just keeps showing up in these lineups of mine. Is Larry Marketing? I can't quite get him out of here. Especially on, well, not even on FanDuel, on both DraftKings and FanDuel. I guess because he played like a bunch of minutes the last game, he's just maybe being a little over projected today. I don't know.
Well, it's a strange situation with them because they have all the bigs and everything, and you never know who's going to lose minutes exactly and win. I don't think he's a bad play though. It's a good matchup for him, and because they're so deep, it's not like they're going to play Kevin Love blowout minutes if that is in fact the way this game plays. So I mean, he'll play a little bit of those, but like he's just going to play his 20 minutes, 22 minutes, whatever it is. I mean, Mobley is officially still questionable. I think he's going to play, but I'm not 100% sure on that. If that happens, then I really have to start looking at playing Markkanen. But I don't have Markkanen as like a priority of any kind, but I don't mind him either.
Let's talk about the Houston guys. That's fun. Okay. So I'll tell you the guy I'm most comfortable with, and then the guy I want to ask you about. Well, first of all, the guy I want to keep asking you about is this Josh Christopher. He like keeps on popping. Is he really good? Is he just okay? I mean, is he what do you make of him?
It's okay. It's a little thin for my taste, but it's less thin than it was earlier today because Christian Wood being out should open up things for everybody. And he's been getting decent enough run, and he's got the upside if he can hit his shots. But you look at it like people say, oh, yeah, he put up 31. The last time he played 24 minutes or whatever, or actually, I put 15. But the time before that, he put up 31. But he had made all 4 of his threes. You know what I mean? He had 2 steals and a block, which he hasn't had except for one other game, any steals or blocks. So a little thin for my taste. I think I would be more likely to side with KJ Martin and Sengun. I feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah, Sengun's the guy I feel the best about, actually.
Yeah. The one with the upside the most who's not going to get played that much is Tate. And I think he's a really strong play. And Armani Brooks, it could go one way or the other. It depends on how the game plays. But on FanDuel more than DraftKings, I do currently have Armani Brooks in my big FanDuel build. I don't think I'm going to probably end up sticking with that, but I don't mind it either at 4,800. I think there is upside, like I said, over 33 games in a row before the last one against Atlanta. So I think that, if they're down, but he's kind of playing well, he could easily be back in that 30 range. He takes a lot of shots. Not a huge assist guy, but decent enough not assist numbers, and he will rebound for a guard. So he has I think a higher. It's not a higher floor. It's a higher floor if he gets a high enough floor if he gets the minutes. The minutes could switch over to DJ Augustine at some point, but all of them are interesting. I have Sengun, then Martin, then Tate as my favorites.
What do you make? What do you make of Daniel Tice?
I think it's weird. It's like I would want to play it. At that point, it's almost like I want to like run back something on the other side because Tice will probably play his 20 minutes, and we know he can get there in 20 minutes, but he doesn't really play more than 20 minutes very often, and he hasn't put up over 20. And the last time he put up 20 was November 20th. Now they are shorter on bodies, and you do need to play bigger against Cleveland, so I think it's viable. I definitely think it's viable. I'm not finding myself needing that one quite as much, but again, I prefer KJ Martin, who's range. I think I prefer Max Struss at 3,100 to both Oliver and him, but that's even a little thin too. So it's like I could see going either way on that one. That's just my personal preference. Evan Mobley just now ruled out, so now Markkanen is actually going to be a strong play.
And meanwhile, I just want to let everybody know that. I mean, I'm not much for the credit and I told you so's and looking back and whatever, but I just want you guys to know that if anybody out there follows Roto Grinders, which I'm sure some people do, I want the record to reflect that if in fact Jacksonville blows up this week and wins someone $1 million, it was me who gave it out first.
Yep.
We recorded before the Roto Grinders people went out there, so just thought I'd let you know.
Yeah, you were right. You were on it before I heard anybody else talk about it. I'll tell you that. So from my angle, you're good there.
Hey,
Eric Johnson's bringing up an interesting point. Like, I'm curious who Cleveland. I want to see a starting lineup for Cleveland. Looks like Dean Wade is going to start. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Well, the question is how many minutes can we project for Dean Wade, and I'll try to run some updated projections in a minute. But as of right now, I think that Osman would be viable to answer Eric Johnson's question in the chat. But I don't think that they have a lot of bodies there. They're happy to play them. They're rotating minutes. The guys who are going to have the sure minutes are the Okoro, the Garlands, Jared Allen, and Markkanen, I think. Everybody else, I think, is in flux with their minutes to some extent. Probably makes Rubio a slightly better play because they do run some of the offense through Mobley. All of these guys are viable. I mean, we could talk endlessly about how many guys are viable tonight. There's tons of them. But all of these guys now make a lot more sense. And I do like the Markkanen one, I think, a little better than I like the other guys. I think he's the one who actually could see the boost because you can see minutes with him at the 3, as well as the 4 for Mobley. So I actually kind of like that. I don't think I can get myself to, on the giant slate, play a Okoro in the first game. But every now and then he'll pop off and go nuts. And, he's been pretty good lately, actually. But you're kind of, he's 4 of 8 from 3 the last game, 2 of 3 the game before that. Get some steals and blocks here and there, but I don't know if he's quite my favorite play there that I would want to go with. I am curious to see what the projections are going to say about a Dean Wade because I just think there's better spots like later in the day to try to hope for.
I'm not playing him.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just throwing out that game because that game does become a little more interesting. He's 3,700. I don't think I want to play him either. Really weird how this team makes to play, but I love it. I mean, the Cavs just want to stay big, like no matter what you do.
I have another situation to discuss with you. So, guy that's difficult for me to get away from on FanDuel is especially. I mean, I had him anyway, but now that Bamba is out. I mean, Wendell Carter Jr. over on FanDuel is difficult for me to get away from. But the question I have is, are you going to do anything with Robin Lopez at 3K?
First of all, I'm not crazy about Wendell Carter. He's fine. I don't think it's anything we have to do. No, I'm not going to do anything with Robin Lopez.
Or Okiki?
Okiki, I will. I'll play Okiki for sure.
Okay.
Even he's a guy who I actually like. One of the more guys I like more from the projections because we've seen Okiki play some games. He's got, they want him to do well. They want him to get his minutes. They don't always have room for everybody in that front court. And given minutes without Bamba on the court, it should up his rebound rate. It should up his usage rate a little bit. So I think Okiki, even though he hasn't put up many games in a while, we haven't had the no Mo Bamba. It's a pretty good match pace with Atlanta. He can play multiple positions. So I actually do like the Okiki play a little bit. I have him in one of my big DraftKings builds. On FanDuel, I actually didn't find myself with Carter partially because so I like Anthony Davis a lot at 10K. I think on FanDuel is where you'd want to use him. I mean, look, that's what we do. We attack Dallas with bigs, and Davis is 10K, and I think it's a very viable play. I think that the other guys are Jaren Jackson, Sengun, Nurkic in the front court.
Mm-hmm.
Keldon Johnson is a little bit maybe off the board seeming. Kyle Kuzma against Sacramento. So those are the guys I have all those guys.
Is Kuzma in?
Kuzma's supposedly in tonight.
Okay.
He cleared the safety protocol, so we should assume he's good to go. And it's a great matchup.
I had a little bit of Dinwiddie, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, but one guy who I don't think anyone's going to play tonight, but maybe you should take a look at people should take a look at the game logs, who's been really, really good, is Brandon Ingram. We've seen 3 out of his last 6 over 50, 55, 58. He's expensive. I don't think DraftKings is the place for him, but I think on FanDuel at 8,800, I can get behind that, especially if Chris Middleton is out, and then we can spend down at the other spots and play Ingram and, as a spend up. And that also would get you off of it won't be full chalk, but some of the chalky-ish Valanciunas.
Yeah. You're throwing me for a loop here because you usually don't like to play. Well, I shouldn't say you usually don't like to play, but it seems unlike you to like Max Strus.
It's a little
So,
unlike me. 3,100. I do think you could make an argument for Christopher. I mean, his forward eligibility is what made the decision for me to play him at all. I don't think it's a must play by any means. Again, I don't think he's going to be in the starting lineup, but I am kind of curious to see who they do end up. I think it's going to be pretty straightforward who they start, but I just think Strus has enough off the bench. I wish the game was later in the day so I could buy a little extra time because I don't love doing that, but I think that he's got enough to get 20 plus, and that could be good enough. They're going to need somebody else to score other than just Lowry. We haven't seen partly why I didn't like Strus, though, don't forget, was because Lowry and Hero were playing, or Lowry and Butler, and then Strus was playing with those guys. It wasn't like we had no Butler, Bam, and Hero. So Strus is another guy who can shoot, who can put up some shots and get something going. Now, even Duncan Robinson, where I don't usually like to give him a boost, once you eliminate all these other guys, you start thinking about who's going to actually take the shots for them. I think that Duncan Robinson, Strus are going to end up taking more shots. I actually think that even PJ Tucker, as gross as it is, if no one was playing him, I would be into it. But if he's going to be double-digit owned, I'll forget it at this price. But we have seen like logical upticks for him recently and trends that you want to get on. His rebounding has been really good. His assist rate has been excellent. And then, of course, his shooting has been excellent, which is the part I don't know if I want to try and count on PJ Tucker making 5 threes. Feels a little thin.
With kind of the not newer, but with the extended value that's coming out of Houston, Miami, and whatever, is I do think that I'm going to change my mind on the Jokic. I think I'm going to play him. Earlier today, for those of you who are listening, I didn't think I was going to be able to pay the 12-2, but with all these other guys coming out, I mean, I think you can. I mean, you can do it. You know what I mean? It's still a question of whether you want to, but I think I am going to do it actually.
Yep. If he plays, you're going to get lower ownership. I want to throw in one other thing. Like, you're going to get lower ownership. Again, he's probably not going to play. I have Middleton not even in projected right now. But we don't have it officially.
I'm going to give you some history of this, by the way. Okay, so just because I'm on top of like the projections like everywhere.
Yeah.
Everybody except for Roto Grinders had Middleton playing. Okay.
Yep.
And Roto Grinders did not have him playing, and people were on there saying, "Why do you not have him playing?" When the DraftKings app says, it's not a big deal, and even within the Roto Grinders Discord, they were saying, I don't know, from everything we're seeing, he's trending more to doubtful. But with no support or no follow-up. And recently, even when the Discord, what's his name, said, if we get news that it's going to be even game time decision, we're going to put him back into the projections. So basically, nobody really knows. And that's like what's his name said.
But he is a game time decision, so I'm surprised they didn't put him back in the projections.
Yeah, so this was 6:05. Actually, it's 6:05. They said if we get word Middleton is a game time decision in the next 15, 20 minutes, we'll add him back. So I don't know. I mean, we just got, again, the good thing is that's all speculation is not even relevant because we're gonna know at some point,
Right.
But I don't know if we're gonna know before 7, which is a big deal,
Right.
Because if you want to play, like how does it matter actually? You're gonna probably want to play Drew, regardless of whether Middleton is in.
Yep.
But if Middleton is out, then these other clowns show up. Does like Giannis show up? Does like
no, well maybe. I mean, but so depending on the site, really. Like on FanDuel or on both sides, actually, I think Mamu Shvili, I can never pronounce his name. Mamu K. I don't know how to whatever. You know what I'm talking about. He projects fairly well. I think Grayson Allen is probably the next best play. I think Bobby Portis is a great play. I expect Milwaukee to stay in this game. It's not like I think they're going to get smoked because they don't have these guys. This is a good team. George Hill is going to muck things up a little bit because he's been out and it does take away a little bit. But by the way, like almost like to the point where on DraftKings I was considering playing him, like if there's no Middleton, because I could see him starting potentially. I don't think it'll happen, but they like to bring Connaughton off the bench. Connaughton's price is not the most fun thing to play in the world. And he tends to, I know it sounds really weird, but he always tends to play better when Giannis is there. They're like good friends and all that stuff. I don't think on FanDuel it's relevant, but on DraftKings, I think he's viable at 5K. But mostly for me, I do think you could make an argument for Thanasis, but I would be mostly on the Holiday, Grayson Allen, Bobby Portis side of things.
Okay.
And and I actually feel pretty good about all those guys. So I think that's what I would. Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Yeah. Brunson, great play, both sites.
Yep.
Boy, DeJounte Murray, I still have a hankering. I still have an inkling. I'm still have a yearning to want to play him.
I'm dying to play him, but where am I going to use him at guard if there's no?
I know.
Because that's the only problem. Like, on FanDuel where I want to play him, especially, you have Lowry, Brunson, Holiday, and Allen, who are almost like automatic plays for me. Like,
well, I have a question. I mean? Let's talk about this for a second. So Miami's playing Cleveland, right? So these are like two of like the slowest teams in the universe. Is this really? I mean, I don't want to push anybody the wrong way, but is Lowry really a lock? You know what I mean? Is he really gonna
at 7K on FanDuel for me? He's gonna be in my main lineup.
Okay.
Does he have to be a lock? No.
Right.
Not at all. But I am going to play him. I can just say that. I guess that's all I've got on him.
Right.
The other weird, look, if you want to make a speculative play, that you really better have some 2v2 switches, because I don't think Paul George is going to play tonight. But if he does, he's 8,900, and he's an interesting play in that matchup. He really thrived against them last year in the playoffs. That's kind of an interesting spot. So, I'm struggling a little bit to what to do. Do I need to go down to Grayson Allen?
Middleton is out.
Middleton's officially out?
Well, I don't know. Someone's posting Middleton out.
Okay, so if Middleton is officially out, then I think that's also like, yeah, the guard's so loaded on FanDuel, it's actually nuts. Man, I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with this. And it's sort of forcing you to play on FanDuel. It's forcing you to play basically Jokic. And if you want to spend down for the Grayson Allen, and I love the Brunson play still. I have Middleton is out now too, so
okay, good.
That. But yeah, it's hard. Like it just I don't know. It's a weird spot. And then I really the weird plays. You're right about you're talking about the Cleveland. Cleveland is slow, but Houston's not slow. Did you say Houston? Miami's slow. Oh, you're talking about playing guys from Cleveland and from Houston.
Oh, I thought Cleveland's playing Miami. I got confused. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I just didn't know which one you. Yeah, just trying to make sure. But I don't know. This is going to be interesting, because I do feel like having only one piece from Milwaukee feels a little thin, but they do go fairly deep-ish, and there's plenty of guys who can put up 20 fantasy points to go with Holiday's 45 or 50. I was in the mood to try and fade some Holiday earlier today, but now there's no way I'm doing that now.
Now it's hard.
Yeah.
And Connaughton really becomes pretty good.
On DraftKings, not on FanDuel so much.
Okay.
6K is a lot. Like,
right.
He has to do a lot. And then, I don't know if I can do it. It's tempting, but I don't think I'm going to do it, to be honest with you. I like other guys a little bit better. I have a perfect spot. I need a guy at 6K too, exactly, at small forward, and feels weird to play Connaughton over Dylan Brooks or Kyle Kuzma, who I just feel like are going to get there more of the time.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to update it with the Middleton at 0. Drew is going to be updated, but I have to get some updates on the ancillary pieces, because that's going to. I mean, they're going to show up, right?
Yeah, for sure. Especially Grayson Allen should, but not not to the point where you desperately need to play them. There's a lot of guys projected for that 5x-ish range on Milwaukee, and that's with Middleton out. And I just don't know that on FanDuel that maybe that's the mistake. Maybe that's the one I don't want to do. Maybe I want to play DeJounte Murray, pay down at center, skip Grayson Allen, and just play Drew.
Right.
That's what I'm sort of flirting with right now. Or could go completely the other way and say, I'll play Connaughton, Allen, and Drew. At 6K for Connaughton just doesn't feel right. we've seen him bust in these spots before. Now he can get there. He's a good block steal guy. Like, unfortunately, like they don't turn the ball over a ton, but they do turn it over enough. I don't know. It's just a weird. And then the Kuzma, Dylan Brooks, same thing. Play those guys, I think, Connaughton.
Oh shoot, I gotta. Okay.
So that's what I'm dealing with. Let's see. I can try and get some questions. Okiki, I like Okiki at 3,200. Lowry going to be the chalk. I don't know how chalky he's not going to be like mega chalk. He'll be chalky, but like, I mean, you have other guys in that price range. There's a lot of good plays out there. So I wouldn't overly worry about Lowry's ownership. Nicholas Dunbar says, welcome back, Sheets. I'll second that. Welcome back. Let's see. Lowry going to be the chalk, though. Right. No. Let's see. That game stack tonight. To be honest with you, I don't really like. I have like mini stacks. Like on DraftKings, I like the Drew and Brogdon back and forth. I like the. I guess on fan, I like the Jokic and Anthony Edwards at 7,200. I think Memphis and Portland will be overlooked in a good pace game. Houston and Cleveland is begging to be stacked, but I don't know that I want to do that with the first game of the night. So I don't really love the game stacks quite as much. I like just a little bit of correlation if I'm going to play a couple guys. That's pretty much what I'm doing tonight. I'm not stacking quite as heavily. And of course we had 3 games last night and 2 games going to overtime. Grayson Allen, yes, we absolutely agree. Just talked about Grayson Allen. Lowry's family tenant. Yeah, this is a Lowry homecoming. I like him on DraftKings as well as FanDuel. He's the Villanova guy, you know what I mean? Like it's going to be, it should be his show. Favorite Cavs plays and any new priorities. Let's get to the Cavs real quick, and I'm going to see the updated projections I've got, and then Sheets can maybe touch on what he's got over there. I actually think Markkanen might be over projected. I still like him, but it feels a little bit like he's getting a little too much love. I think that, Rubio. So the favorite Cavs guys, I still don't think you need to play any of them. I don't have any must plays on the Cavs. I would go Markkanen, Rubio, or Rubio Markkanen, however you want to slice it. I think it's Darius Garland is a terrific tournament play, but I don't think I'm going to end up with him because the price range is just, I'd rather play Drew Holiday and Brogdon. I think Indy would be the answer. I mean, I think you could play a Brogdon, Miles Turner. The weird Miles Turner play I know sounds crazy, but I just think it's actually not a bad spot here for him against this Milwaukee team with the way they defend. And maybe you could, on the other side, you run out Holiday, Allen, Connaughton, and Portis, and that's a full game stack on DraftKings, a 4-2. I did have all the Milwaukee guys overs today in my bets of the day. So I think that's a pretty good bet right now. Grayson Allen projected only score 12.5 real points. I think he'll score more than that. Boy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to edit some guys out of my lineups. Guys, pop in a few more questions. I got 4 more minutes before we can do that. Thoughts on Simons on DK? No interest at all. For me, unless you somehow tell me. To be honest, like this is, we've had this spot a few times today, but this on a different slate. I don't know, a smaller slate. I would be taking shots on Dame Lillard even on the back-to-back. I actually think he'll get some ownership, but I don't see any reason why we need to play Anthony Simons tonight, personally. And by the way, Lillard did just play 47 minutes last night. Like, that's a lot of minutes. I can't see why Simons would be in play personally. Yeah, sure, maybe he gets there, but there's just 500 other guys I'd rather play than him. It is a good matchup for him. I'll give him that. See what else we got. Favorite Laker to spend on. I think it is Davis on FanDuel. On DraftKings, it's closer with LeBron. There's a bigger price gap and position gap on FanDuel that makes it a little bit different. I don't think that any of them are necessary, but I think that if I had to pick one, it would be Davis or LeBron in that order, Davis and LeBron. I don't know about Metu's season. Like, we don't even know who Sacramento. Metu was a DNP CD last week twice. I don't think we have to assume that he's necessarily going to even start or play. like just with the way they run their rotations. And we could say, yeah, it's because of Bagley. Doesn't have to be. They've got Terrence Davis, Buddy Hield, Davion Mitchell, Tristan Thompson, who will all get significant minutes off the bench, and Damian Jones.
Right.
So I don't think that he's as high a priority. I do like that he's in the later game, though. That's a little bit of a boost to him. But that's where I stand with that. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, I think Garland is like a great sneaky tournament play, but especially without Mobley, like I could see him really going off. Boy, he's good, man. I love Cleveland. They're like my guilty pleasure team. I love that team. Let's see if I do this with Connaughton instead. Allen, then Bane. I like Bane, by the way, in that game.
All right, I actually have to run.
Okay.
Good luck, everybody.
Good luck. I'll be in Discord, guys, and just make sure to at me. Good luck.
All right, later.
Good luck, man.